Call the meeting order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Also, Commissioner Reed on the prayer, side of prayer, if you choose.
Dear God, I thank you for this day, and I pray that you'd help us to govern wisely and well. And I thank you for those who attended and those who are watching online. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay. Roll call. Start with Commissioner Reed. Here. Mr. Culberson. Here. Mr. Stephen. Here. Commissioner Smith here. And Commissioner Dove is here. He's ready to roll.
Ready to roll?
Ready to roll. Okay, public comment. I got a few on this. You'll notice that when you come up, we've installed a clock. You got 5 minutes. I always hated interrupting anybody. So now it's right in front of you when you see it. And I think the first is Logan. Is Logan here? Coming up. Good morning.
Hello. My name is Logan Panetto of Leavenworth, Kansas. I expected a couple other people to show up today, but unfortunately, because...
Can you bring that mic a little closer to you? We're having a hard time.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, with these meetings being on Wednesdays, at this time, not a lot of people can come. So, the accessibility is an issue for some people. My reason for being here is, because I am concerned about not only the language that I saw from the article, and I don't know if this is directly from the proposed proclamation for the Traditional Family Values Month, which I am not opposed to that proclamation. I believe that everybody has their right to feel seen and heard. The only concerning thing is the language, which brings me to my other concern of the behavior of some of the county commissioners who have complained about the proclamation that I requested, not Mayor Pittman, about how that proclamation was divisive when there was no exclusionary language, and Pride Month is for everyone. And the language in this proclamation, from what I can see from the article, is exclusionary and raises concern specifically to what returning to those values means, like who left, what's not here anymore. If those people that hold those values are leaving those values or abandoning those values, and maybe there needs to be a conversation with those people about why they're abandoning those values, but not everybody holds those values, and that's their prerogative. That's okay. Everybody can have different values. So that is my only concern. I just ask that, if this proclamation, after its review and if it goes through, just that divisive language not be used, because that was a concern against the Pride Month proclamation. And Chairman Smith, I appreciate, and also Mr. Dove, I do appreciate your attention and eye contact and actual, receptiveness of what I am saying. So, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Okay, do we have someone else that was... Come on up. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for adding me late. Can you hear me okay?
We got you. Go ahead.
All right. My name is Amy Coffey. A lot of you probably know that, but I'm a resident of Lansing, Kansas. And I'm speaking today in strong support of the proclamation declaring July 25th, or July of 25, as a traditional Family Values Month. I realize that we have a lot of proclamations in today's world, and sometimes you might be thinking, why are we having one more? But as a government body, when we do open up proclamations for one, it's really not a good idea to close them out to others. So I am in support of this, and this proclamation recognizes a truth that has been affirmed by for centuries by both history and faith, that the traditional family, consisting of a married mother and father raising their children in a foundational pillar, is of that of any strong and moral society. These families provide stability, pass down core values, and serve as the first and most important teachers of civic duty, personal responsibility, and compassion. Across many faith traditions, Christianity, Judaism, the family is not only a sacred institution, but it is a vital building block for healthy communities. It is within a traditional family that children most often learn discipline, respect, worth ethic, love for a neighbor, values, things that we desperately need in today's culture. Historically, America's greatest generations were raised in homes with strong family structures, and while not perfect, these have created a social fabric that encouraged community involvement, academic achievement, a tribute, and a service to the nation. The data included in this proclamation confirms that when traditional family declines, society faces increased challenges such as poverty, crime, youth mental health struggles, and more. This proclamation is not about judging or dividing. It's about restoring what works. It's a call to support marriage, encourage responsible parenting, and strengthen families for the good of our children and our country. I do understand struggles of single parents and what they face, and this is not a judgment against that. Our oldest daughter is a single parent. Our grandson's father passed away when he was 2 years old. So we have seen the struggles that she faces, but in this proclamation, I believe, as it mentions, our family has been a source of strength and guidance for her and our grandson. They have used us to lean on, and we provide encouragement. My husband and I will be celebrating our 36th wedding anniversary this fall. As most of you know that are married, it's not always easy, but I feel it's definitely well worth it. And I would like to thank you for your time and issue the encouraging our community to reflect on these values that help build and keep America strong and our county strong. So thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Anyone else? Joe, you want to talk about your vacation. You don't get one. Is that what you still want to talk about? Come on up. Good morning, Joe.
Joe Herring, here as a resident in Vanessa Reed's district, and also here to represent my client, Mrs. Smith, who's also in attendance with Herring Surveying, 315 North 5th Street. We have 3 right-of-way vacation requests, and it's not for full right-of-way, it's just for partial right-of-way that was given to the county many years ago. On mine personally, directly west of where I reside, it is solely to match the right-of-way that was granted back to me back in 2020, supported by staff and approved on a consent agenda up here instead of an open record. I don't know why that has changed, because we're not vacating the entire road. We're only vacating a portion of it, but a part of it. But anyway, that's why I'm here. And the Smiths are here to just clean up their title, to clean up their estate, and that's why we're asking for these back. Really here just to answer any questions. I mean, these applications were put in last year, mid-year during that previous counselor's reign. They did not get in front of you, and as you can tell, it's July here, so it's taken some time to get this up in front of you, or this would have been handled back in 2024, probably on the consent agenda. But just trying to match the same right-of-way. The right-of-way east of the one I have right now was granted back to me, and it was for a mile. It wasn't mine, but it was a half mile in length. So this quarter mile just matches what was given back in 2020.
Okay.
So here to answer any questions. I know it's a public hearing. I'm not going to come up here unless you have questions during that time.
Okay. Thank you, Joe.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
I just have one comment on that. I know that we've been working together on that, and I think that, at least on the Smiths, I think we're moving ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Oh, my goodness. Too late. Come on up. I'm kidding. Come on up. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner, lady and gentlemen. I actually wasn't planning on speaking, but I'll just take a couple minutes. Just want to kind of do a quick redirect and address concern about divisive language and proclamation, which is not there. Bottom line is, I don't mean to insult anyone's intelligence, but we all know that we are all here because of the blessings of common grace that a man and a woman came together. And in many cases, we were raised by loving parents, and many who were not. And they're equally as valuable in the eyes of God as we are. But the bottom line is the city, the county, the state, the nation that we all live in, the world that we live in, has been perpetuated by traditional family. And so the point of this is merely to recognize that, as we know, the law is a teacher, and what commissions like this pass serve to help influence people's thinking and to help them recognize what we know to be good, what we know to be not so good. Arguments against, I've seen some of them on social media, point to alleged exclusionary tones, but the exclusionary tones are the ones that single out people groups of singular beliefs, and this is a belief that has been a rock, an anchor, and a shared value, a shared tradition since the first human beings came into existence. And that is true whether or not you hold to a deistic view of the theological. One of the things that often goes through my mind when I hear people say, well, should we encourage traditional family? Because we recognize that not all people are brought up in traditional families. We recognize that there are circumstances through which they're single-parent homes, and those parents work hard and they carry double load, and we honor them and we do what we can to support them and rally to their side. But one caution I would offer is that arguments that would say, well, because not everyone is blessed to come up in a home with loving two parents, that we shouldn't encourage that. And I would say, let's apply another analogy to that. Not everyone in the world, sadly, tragically, is going to have access to clean water. So should we not be concerned about saying clean water is a good thing? Not everyone in the world is going to have access to a society in which there is law and order and ordered liberty. As we know, throughout much of the world, they don't have that. But we know that to be good. We exercise that here. We acknowledge its goodness. And I could go on. Diet, exercise. Well, not everyone is going to make those choices. So should we not encourage them? We know them to be good. We should encourage them. We're not mandating. We're not saying this is the way it must be or you are excluded from society. But we're recognizing a common virtue and saying this is a good. We've seen that this is a good. We know this is a good. And so we want to acknowledge that it's a good and point people to it as an example of what they can do to help themselves and to bring about an even stabler society and to pass on what we have inherited from those who came before to those in the future. So I appreciate your time and your consideration to this matter and for letting me speak again.
Appreciate your comments. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Administrative business. Mark, do you have anything for a go-around table? No. Okay. Commissioner Reed?
No.
Okay. Jeff?
No.
Mike?
I do have a letter of support for a grant application for Happy Hearts Working that I'd like to put on the agenda for next week. They're asking for federal and state grants for improving their property on Nettleton to allow intellectual and developmental disabilities folks to have a semi-independent living option and addressing significant local needs. This will just be a letter of support for their grant application. And this is the kind of thing we support with Riverside Resources, and I think we support Happy Hearts. We want to give our folks with disabilities options, and sometimes just these letters of support have a lot of impact.
Yeah. I have no problem with sending that to Mark and staff to having it brought back in front of us. Is everybody okay with that? Jeff? Okay, well, we will do that then. Thank you, Mike. Anything else?
That's all.
I have nothing. Mr. Root Canal?
Good morning. I had the opportunity to go to Philadelphia for the NARCO conference, and I'll be much more prepared to give you an in-depth report.
That's a busy time.
The next meeting.
Yeah.
Spend some valuable time understanding what I'm writing down. Okay. Thank you.
All righty. Okay. We'll go to consent agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking down. I even got it circled. Traditional Family Values Month Proclamation Review. Thanks, Mark. Open up for comments.
I'll comment. I just remember my grandma Steffi, and I remember all the times I spent at my grandma's house when I was in elementary school, and I remember she always had me a good breakfast, and I walked to school, and I remember those just wonderful values that she imparted to me growing up. And I think when I think of traditional families proclamation, like the paragraph down here says, whereas courageous single parents benefit from the support of strong families and communications thrive when traditional family values are celebrated, even if they're single parents and they're in difficult situations, the family unit that is strong can help those folks, benefit those folks. And we want to keep in our country strong families. And this proclamation is just saying we celebrate those families. We appreciate those families. We appreciate everyone, that whatever their situation is. But the direction our country's taken, I think it's important that we make a statement for just plain old traditional families.
I've just got a thing. I don't disagree with what you're saying, Commissioner. The only thing I was concerned about on this is that what we're stepping into, which is fine, we're allowed to do proclamation. The other thing is, I wondered if it could be made a little bit more gentle. I agree. I was fortunate enough to live. My dad's retired Army Colonel. My mom. I agree with the numbers and stuff like that. But I know a lot of single folks, grandparents like you're speaking of, Mike, things like that. That did one heck of a job raising kids. And I know what the statistics show. I was a cop for 21 years. I know what I was dealing with on a long thing. I just don't want it to be coming from me that if you're a single person, you can't do a good job raising a child. That's the only thing I'm saying on this at all. And maybe that's not what maybe I'm reading it wrong. That's all I'm saying. Vanessa?
Do you have a recommended verbiage change?
I've read over this a couple of times. I was going to meet with, if y'all wanted to, I was going to talk to staff and things like that. I want to make sure, I don't have it right now, I guess what I'm saying,
Okay.
Vanessa. That's what I think. But don't take me wrong. I see the benefit of it. I just don't know if I want to point out something like that when I know some good single folks that have really stepped up to the plate, and a lot of people like me who had two parents, their family, made the difference in my life. I probably would have never wore a badge. So I get this. I just want to bring that out for other county commissioners, and whatever y'all decide, I'm fine.
Well, that paragraph, there is a paragraph that addressed the single parents. I don't know if you want to add a line to that.
Something, Mike. I just don't know what it is yet. I just don't know what I want to put on there yet. Now, that's only me talking. If y'all are comfortable with the way it is, that's the way we'll go down the road with it. Really?
I would recommend that we have another stab at this when you get your thoughts together as to what we need to get done on this. I'm not ready to comment on this.
Okay. Vanessa?
I'm comfortable with the way it is. I don't know. Do you want to put it on the agenda for next week, or?
Yeah, we need to get this resolved.
Okay.
And I may not have any changes. I'm just going around in my mind.
Okay.
I just had a chance to look at this over the weekend. Okay, so next week's okay with you? Vanessa?
Yes.
Okay. Jeff?
Yep, that's
Mike?
fine.
Okay. Mark, can we schedule this, come back, and I'll consult with staff or the attorney or whatever to make sure we're doing it the right way. And again, folks, this may come back just the way it's presented. It was just my 2 cents.
So, just so I'm clear, it'll come back as a discussion item again next week before going on the agenda for as a regular project.
I would ask, since it's already mid-July, that we consider changing it to August, since we're going to be discussing it next week. And
Okay, discussion next week and the final one, okay.
But the month declaration would be August instead
Yeah.
of July.
Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Thanks, Mark. Let's see here.
Well, I did want to.
Go ahead, Mark.
This is a classic book for anybody that wants to talk about some of these issues. It's by Charles Murray. It's called Coming Apart. And if you have an opportunity to read this goes. He's a social scientist. It goes over all the statistics that have happened to American families, and he specifically is addressing the white working class between. I believe it ends. The date he ends it is in 2010, but it's a classic book. And it kind of addresses the social science issues of what's happened to our families.
Yeah. Well, I see. Thank you, Mike. Anything else? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Motion second. Any discussion? If none, Mr. Reed?
I
Aye.
Aye. Well, he's beating me every time. I'm too slow. Okay, formal board action. Consider a motion to approve Resolution 2025-24, placing three-way stop signs at the intersection of 183rd Street and Leavenworth Road. Morning, Bill.
Morning, Commissioners. As you stated, we have a situation where we have a one-way stop at a T intersection. Not often do I come before the Board of County Commissioners with sign requests. In fact, I think this is only the second time that we've had it in my tenure here, where the request for additional signage truly met all of the merits and warrants of the MUTCD and AASHTO standards. What we have in this situation is a dust abatement roadway that was paved back in 2022, and as part of that project, no engineering evaluation of the intersection site distance was completed. At the request of a property owner, I did physically go to the site and take a look at it. It seemed like there was a hill to the west that was significant and blocked a lot of the line of sight. What was found was we shot the center lines in with the county surveyor and measured the stop and sight distance for a precise measurement. We had 149 feet of line of sight, which is only adequate for a 24-mile-an-hour speed limit. And so we will be doing a full four-way control at that, or three-way, control at that T intersection in order to properly sign that for the speed limit along that roadway.
Question.
Go ahead, Mike.
So how did this get on your radar, or how did this come to the fore?
A property owner made a request for us to evaluate it for safety, which we do in a lot of situations, but I would say 99% of those situations don't meet the warrants set by the federal government to put a stop sign up at that location. Either not enough traffic, or not a limited enough line of sight, or not an accident history. I will say that this intersection in the previous 5 years has not had a single accident, despite the limited line of sight. So to date, it hasn't created a safety issue, but it does not meet the warrants of the AASHTO requirements.
But sometimes, as we've seen down south, some things that don't meet the warrant by the engineers can result in a death, something like that. And I see your recommendation. You make it very clear, I think, Bill, that you don't usually recommend these things, but you're saying this is one of the exceptions to the rule.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move that we approve Resolution 2025-24, placing three-way stop signs at the intersection of 183rd Street and Leavenworth Road.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? If not, I'll start the call. Mr. Reed?
Aye.
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 Thank you, sir. Next item, Consider a motion to accept the proposal by MRJ Engineering for the bid documents, permitting and designs of A7 and HP 51.
Commissioner, these bridges are on the low-volume roads that was discussed during the CIP and approved in the official CIP. These two structures, along with two other structures, were determined to be replacements with the lowest cost structure possible. MRJ is an engineering group that works with Husker Steel out of Nebraska, and this is the path that was determined that would save the county money. One of these structures is a pre-built bridge deck that will be shipped in, already constructed and set on the head walls, and the other is for a steel structure that is 60 foot long. Currently, this is the cheapest path. This will get us started on our permitting process and will allow us to bid the project according to the CIP.
And it's a budgeted item.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Jeff? go
Bill,
ahead.
which one's on Jameson Road? Is that HP 51 or 54?
That is 51.
51.
That is this structure.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Motion to accept the proposal by MJR Engineering for bid documents permitting a design of bridges A-7 and HP-51.
I'll second it. Any more discussion? Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
No.
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. That's 4-1. Consider a motion to approve the contract with Reese Construction for the construction of bridges HP 54 and SH 61. Bill?
Commissioners, this is part of the Kansas Local Bridge Improvement Program grant. We did receive the low bid that was accepted previously by the Board of County Commissioners. As you guys are aware, we come back for the same bridge multiple times in order to complete all the KDOT required steps. So first we issue a notice of award by accepting the low bid. This is the second step in that process. This is the contract for the bid that you've already accepted with Reese Construction. The grant on that project is for $2 million. Obviously, the bridges came in lower than the $2 million. We're asking for the bridge plus a contingency in order to construct that. The remaining funds available will go towards construction, engineering, inspection costs, so we can utilize the full amount of that grant for all phases because the bids came in low.
Hey, commissioners?
Excuse me. Pardon me. What was the bid accepted?
The bid accepted was $1,582,437.
That's quite a bit lower.
Yeah,
Lower than the $2 million estimate
Yeah.
that we had. Yeah,
that's a first.
It's not often we did receive two bids, but
Cross your fingers.
two things drove the price. We bid two bridges together that are right next to each other on the same road, so there was only one mobilization. And then also we provided a big window and allowed for winter construction. So all between those factors, we were very successful in getting a low price on these bridges.
How many low bids have we received from Reese Construction?
Reese Construction built a bridge in I believe it was Tonganoxie Township 2 years ago, and they've been a subcontractor on some of our projects building box culverts. But this would be the second bridge and third bridge that they have built for Leavenworth County since I've been here in 5 years.
In the period that we haven't had any problems with them?
No, they're a reputable company. They've been around for 60 years or more. They're a large company. In fact, I saw them working on I-70 on Sunday. They had crews out working on a bridge deck. They do a lot of KDOT work. They're one of probably the 4 or 5 biggest bridge companies in the state of Kansas.
Good question.
Thank you, Bill.
Anybody else?
Okay, move to approve the contract with Reese Construction for the construction of bridge HP-54 and SH-61.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
I do have a couple
Mike.
things for Bill. Can you tell, and this is just for information of the public down in the south part of the county, when would you believe this construction will begin? And what will the reroute be?
Construction has a notice to proceed date range of September 2nd to December 15th. Until we have this contract in place, we'll start to have serious discussions with the contractor immediately after the contract signing to determine whether they're going for the early start or the late start or what their approximate start date range is looking like. So right now we just have the wide window of September 2nd to December 15th in order to provide that information. I would say that the best detour for this project is going to be just taking K32 since this project would be north. It will mostly interrupt traffic coming from areas to the northwest trying to get to DeSoto because this is the major cut-through route. They will either go through Eudora to get to K10 or they can take K32 over to Bonner Springs or they can take 158th Street south down to that bridge as well to get to DeSoto.
Will they still be able to access 170th Street off of Golden Road? Or will it be closed before 170th Street?
It'll be closed west of 100.
West. So you'll still be able to use the 170th Street.
Both of these bridges are 170th Street. Both the bridges are west of 170th Street.
So the access to 170th Street will be unimpeded?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
170th Street is the bridge road, right?
You come off the bridge, turn left, it's the first road.
The left?
First road to the left.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I may have confused my road numbers. I'd have to verify that on the CIP map to see if I think one
it's
is
pretty far east from where the location is, so I think it would probably be open. I'm just trying to verify that.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that and let you know.
Okay.
A motion and a second. Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Okay, item B, Board Order, 2025-7, request for vacation of a right-of-way Gilman Road. This requires a public hearing, so I'm opening the public hearing now. Any comments? Seeing there is none, I'll close the public hearing and consider a motion to approve Board Order 2025-7, vacating a 10-foot by 300-foot section of right-of-way near Gilman Road.
Want the motion?
More discussion?
Yeah.
Or can we make the motion then do discussion?
Sure.
Okay. Motion to approve Board Order 2025-7, vacating a 10-foot by 30-foot section of right-of-way near Gilman Road.
I'll second it. Okay, no discussion. Go ahead.
I have a question from legal counsel. Is there a statute of limitations on something like this? That could run out like 2-year statute of limitations?
For the vacation of right away or for a taking?
Either.
Well, state statute has the other process how you can vacate the right of way, and that can be done at any time. And the statute that is applicable is for partial vacations or full vacations of the right of way, and the process is clear on the steps that you have to take. And notification, publication, and public hearing, which is what we're doing. Now, so there's no statutation on the vacation of the public right of way because the board can decide as the needs of the county change. Now, the statute of limitations for an illegal taking, if someone wanted to claim that the county illegally took their ground and turned it into right of way, that'd be 2 years from the date of the taking.
So do you know what the date was when they applied for this to be returned?
Misty, I'm sorry, is your mic on?
Yes.
They can't hear you at all in the back, I don't think. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, barely in the front.
Maybe a little closer.
So there's, so she basically said there is a 2-year statute of limitations to ask for it back. So do we know what the date was when they originally asked for it? I know it sat on a desk for a while, but do we know what the original date was for the asking for it back?
I don't know when Mr. Herring started working with prior council for the vacation. I do know that there were discussions about it last year, and so then I assumed working on it in January. But there is no statute of limitations as to when the board has to consider the petition. Other entities have policies that talk about how you look at it right away.
Right. Yeah. I was just trying to figure out, was it less than 2 years that they said, hey, we want this back? Joe? Could ask Joe that. He might know. Joe, do you know what the date was when you originally asked for this back? So when you came to the county and said, hey, we want this back, what was that date?
I don't recall that date. It was last year. It was during 2024.
And the taking was when?
I don't recall. I think it was 2016, 2015, 2017, somewhere around there. I was living there when they came and got that right away, but I did not own the property. I did not own the property until the end of 2023.
So you didn't know when it was taken, the right of way was taken?
No,
Right.
Mike McGraw owned it, and I asked him if they were compensated. He said they were not.
Okay. Because I know it sat on a desk for a while, so that
It did sit on a desk for a while,
should
and
be
there was a lot of
excluded.
emails back and forth.
Yeah, so all that time should be excluded, but I'm just trying to get at when the original ask was. It sounds like it was way past 2 years.
I didn't know there was a statute of limitation. Matter of fact, that I think the stuff that's been given back was longer than 2 years anyway.
Might have been, and that's why I'm bringing it up, because I don't think anybody looked at it then either.
So it's, if it was taken in a non-conforming way, then
Yeah.
I don't think
So-
that we put a statute of limitation on there anyway. The other question I do have, since we were talking about a motion here, 10 foot by 300 foot, this is a 20 foot by 1,320 foot stretch of ground. Per the description, I don't know where that 10 foot by 300 foot came from.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes what
Different.
controls either the motion or the actual documentation that is in place. I don't know what controls the actual vacation.
And originally, this was a situation where it was a gravel road and then got paved in trade for the 10 foot or however many foot
Yes,
right away.
that's the quid pro quo kind of thing that comes out that's frowned upon. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's legal or not legal, but it's frowned upon to
So-
use it that way.
Okay.
But that's how it
Thank you.
transpired. And
Thank you.
and I do believe that the Smith one that you're going to hear next, I think that there's something mentioned about a Brown Road. I don't know where that comes from. She's on Hollingsworth.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she
Thank
brought
you.
that up to my
Let's
attention.
get the first one,
Thank you.
okay?
So my conundrum is, me and Doug are the ones that brought this up originally. We said, hey, the county's kind of doing a quid pro quo, saying, you give us land and we'll pave your road, which we thought was unconstitutional. It's a taking. So we got the county policy to change to stop doing it that way. If we are going to take some right away, we're going to pay you for it, not trade you something
Yeah.
for it. So
Makes sense?
I agree with that part completely, but also have to agree with the 2-year statute of limitations. So I don't know. This is it.
I think Bill has something to offer.
Bill, did you?
Something.
I can comment if you would like me to comment.
Yes, please.
I would just say that there are thousands of these probably throughout the county, where through some planning and zoning process or the dust abatement roadways, the county has acquired additional right-of-way, whether that's 10 foot or 20 foot. And so in many cases, if we're going to do improvement projects, we would be buying that right-of-way. And so if you look at the county as a whole, and we go back and repurchase all of the right-of-ways that could be vacated, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions more likely, because the last appraisals on Tonganoxie Road where we acquired a lot of right-of-way were $27,000 an acre. And so this is a request, while it's in just 2 locations, if it were to come forward for all of the different locations throughout the county, which there would be probably thousands, where some right-of-way was taken on different properties, it does have a significant cost associated with reacquiring those properties at the time that we may do a future roadway expansion project. Gilman Road, for instance, has a lot of traffic. It is adjacent to Kenneth Bernard Park and across the road from a improvement benefit district for the sewer. So there would be a potential for some type of safety project to occur there with shouldering and widening of that roadway over the next 30 years. And so there are associated costs. It would be a decision of the Board of County Commissioners, just like Commissioner Culberson said, whether or not they deem that process that it was acquired through to be appropriate.
Mike, did you have something?
For council. Is this act a discretionary act on the part of the county commissioners, or is this setting a precedent?
discretionary act, the statute goes through and talks about decisions that the board has to make in order to vacate the right of way if it's not useful, if it's no longer considered a public utility through lack of use, disrepaired road. I can offer that I believe this is the way that right of way has been vacated in the past by prior boards. We're not bound by that. I am going to be bringing forward a right of way vacation process to streamline it. We're just trying to clean up some of the requests that were pending from 2024, and then you're going to be seeing a policy for how to be treated going forward.
And these folks have been waiting a long time.
That's correct. I would say I don't know, based on what Bill said, that there's any immediate plan to utilize the right of way. There may be. It seems, unclear at this point.
But once we change our policy, that would not be an issue.
The policy will then address it on how they come forward. I mean, part of the thing is, the commission can decide to vacate a right of way on their own violation, which saves anybody from filing publication costs, recording costs, or there's a clunkier, more burdensome process when somebody is asking for right of way by state statute. We've been using the one all the years, from at least what I can tell, where the county absorbs the cost of the action and skips some of the hurdles. So we will be coming forward with a policy that streamlines it and takes into account all of the things that should be looked at when you're vacating right of way.
That makes sense, yeah. Any other comments? Okay, we got a motion and a second. Start to recall, Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
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 All righty. Thank you, folks. Next item is Board Order 2025-8, a request for vacation of right-of-way along Hollywood Road, Tract A. It's a public hearing also. I will open the public hearing if anybody would like to comment. If not, I'll
jumping up, aren't they?
yeah, if not, I'll close the hearing and consider a motion to approve Board Orders 2025-8, vacating a 10-foot by 300-foot section of right-of-way along Hollywood Road, Tract A.
Second. That was your motion? Was that your motion?
That was slick.
I guess so. Okay. Comments? Maybe think about that. Any comments?
No.
Okay, start the roll call. Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
No.
Aye.
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 You sound like Willie when you did that, Mike. I thought Willie was on the right of me. Okay, next item, Board Order 2025-9, request a vacation of right-of-way along Hollywood Road, Tract B. Also requires a public hearing. I will now open the public hearing for anyone that would like to talk, speak. See nobody rushing towards the front, I will close the public hearing.
And I will offer a motion to approve Board Order 2025-9, vacating the 10-foot by 300-foot section of right-of-way along Hollingsworth Road, Tract B.
A second. Motion is second. Any more discussion? Mr. Reed?
Aye.
No.
Aye.
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 Okay, very good. Then we'll go to presentations. First one we've got is discuss changes to public comment policy.
Where is it?
I know, I got to dig it out too.
It's down in here somewhere.
Everyone have a chance to read it? Mark, you got any comments, or Esther, anybody?
Commissioners, the current policy was just approved in the assigned item, and that's when we changed it to allow 5 minutes instead of 3 minutes at the beginning of the meeting. Currently, the way the policy is written, the public comment at the beginning of the meeting is reserved for items on the agenda, although we have not necessarily enforced that over the last few months.
No, I have not. Okay, I go back to the same thing, and it's whatever y'all want to do. When people come up to the meeting, I like to give them the opportunity to speak first. If there's anything down the line, I always look at the presentations towards the end for any more or anything that's come up down the line. But when people come up here and have to wait, 20 or 30 minutes to speak, I don't see why we don't let them speak in the beginning. Go ahead, Mike.
I represent the district that's the farthest out. People are driving 45 minutes to get here, and I appreciate when they can speak at the beginning of the meeting, when they drive from Linwood or they drive from Tonganoxie or way out in the far reaches of the county. And I think we should strike the 25-minute limitation whoever wants, we're getting paid to do this job. If we have an hour's worth of public comment, I think that's our job to listen to it. And I think we should allow I think we should also remove the agenda part and allow our public comment to be at the beginning and 5-minute rule. That's my 2 cents.
I agree, and I know some people may be concerned about, we fill the chambers up, but when I was a mayor at Lansing, I had a McIntyre project that was going on with the county, and that county commissioners there, and there was probably 100 people there, and the thing I'd say before is we don't like to see you repeat yourself, but we're elected to listen to them. So as far as I'm concerned, people come here in the beginning, they can speak to us. So, commissioners, what's your thoughts? You've heard Mike and I. Jeff?
So the time is fine with me, whatever you guys want to do, the longer. I think what a lot of people don't understand is the state law says we have to allow people to attend public meetings, but we do not have to allow them to speak. But we want to hear them. So we, as the Leavenworth County Board, have adopted the policy that we want to hear what they have to say. So that being said, whatever you guys decide to do is fine with me because I think it's important to let them speak. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm encouraged by that. I think that people should be able to voice their opinions, especially when it comes as far as what Mike is saying.
Or up north.
The part that's a little uneasy with me is that 5 minutes sometimes goes so fast, and if someone's going to repeat themselves with another speaker, I think that's when we should start trying to curtail them.
And I think that's what I've always tried to do is 3 years as your chair and 4 years as the mayor. If I start seeing that, and that's up to each chair, after that speaker speaks, I have to remind them, listen, is there anybody who would like to speak? We're going to allow you anyway, that has something new to bring to the table. And most of the time, that's worked out pretty well. I'm not saying that it has every time, but the key, I think, is to let citizens who voted us in have the opportunity to get their 5 minutes in.
And I think usually it's not an issue, but there are some meetings that there'll be 300 people show up. So these regulations and rules we're trying to put in place are really designed for those meetings where we don't want to spend 4 hours. Not so much that we don't want to sit here, but if you have paid contractors, double time, triple time sometimes to be sitting here, things don't get done when people repeat the same thing over and over, just like you said. So the limits are really just for the meetings that you're going to have 300 people show up at.
And at the same time, too, it's up to the chair deciding. He or she runs the meeting. I've never had an issue with when I've told people, and I've had some large ones out south, and we've had a few in here, is there anything new to come before the board? And most people have bought on it. If they don't want to, I'll give them the chance to repeat themselves. But I don't think that's enough of an issue to limit. Okay. Vanessa?
So are you saying public comment at the beginning still limited to 5 minutes but no overall cap, and then ability to speak at the end as well, same rules?
I'm not saying with presentations at the end, but if there's something that comes up and somebody wants to speak, I'll gladly set that up. But I think if we get most of the people that I'm aware of want to speak in the beginning. And as Marcus said, and Willie and Jeff's up north, I've had people have to wait before 45 minutes to make the 40-minute drive. I don't think that's the way we should be serving them. So I'd like to see it done in the beginning. It's worked well. Jeff did it for a while. I did it for 3 years. I always brought people up for the most part this year, and I haven't seen too many issues with that.
To Willie's point, I've seen at the school district before where when the time is up, they can come and use that end comment time at the end of the meeting to finish up. So that could be something you would entertain.
That would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
If it gets to be overrun, then yes, at the end of the regular meeting, then we allow those individuals to
But my,
chairman governing body.
But my point was either one, the beginning one or at the end, if you don't put an overall cap on it, some meetings when 300 people show up, you might be here 6 hours.
I think, Jeff, I think I get it. I understand what both of you are saying. So what if we offer the opportunity to speak in the beginning? Most people are going to pick up on that. But if there's a few that want to talk during the end of it, we offer them that too. But I think that what I'm suggesting is I'm trying to get everybody that wants to speak early and get in front of this board to do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying you want to try to avoid a 6 hour meeting because you hear the same thing over and over. When when 100 people come up and talk, you're going to hear the same thing at least a couple times.
Is there a way to make a special, like if we're expecting a large crowd, is there a way to change the engagement for that meeting, or we need to have the same rules for every meeting?
Well, what difference would it make if you made a rule saying 2-hour total limit on the meetings where nobody shows up? It wouldn't really apply.
Yeah.
It would be best to be consistent
Yeah.
for all meetings.
And I think the other thing is too, when we get people coming up in the beginning of the meeting, we always know, a lot of you here for this one issue, and you just make the statement, we want to hear from you, but we ask on time issues that we not repeat the same thing, because believe me, we get it, and we've heard it the week before, so just don't repeat yourself. Yeah, Mike?
If we ever have 300 people show up here, there's probably an important enough issue that we should be willing to sit here for 6 hours.
If we ever, what are you talking about?
I haven't seen 300 since I've been here.
Well, I have several times.
Okay, you guys, we're getting in the weeds.
Yeah.
We're getting in the weeds now. What if? You can what if anything to death, and that's an isolated incident. Are the commissioners okay with putting this in the beginning of the meeting?
Yes.
Are we okay with leaving it 5 minutes? I'm okay with that because I think you can get your thing said. Mike?
Yes.
What other direction do we need to give
Take
Mark?
the 25 minutes out.
Yeah, 25 minutes, it comes out.
So there's no limit total.
We'll just have to move it along. They're allowed. They
It'll
should be
be
able to
okay.
talk to us, Jeff.
Well, I know, I agree, but what I'm saying is if you let 100 people talk 5 minutes each, how many hours is that, 5 hours?
Well,
So,
if they want to filibuster something like that,
saying the same thing over and over.
I'm not believing that's going to happen very often.
I don't.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You can.
Okay.
You can. It's like making a law. You make a law for just a
I
few
brought it
people
up. That's all I can do.
don't agree with it. So are we okay with those 3 items going in direction to the staff? It looks like we are, except for the comments on the side. Okay, Mark, you got your marching orders? Okay. Okay, budget discussion.
Commissioners, last week, you gave me some direction to review a couple of items, primarily how the change to our health insurance might impact employees where they would actually next year take home less pay. So I reviewed that, and what I found was the employee-only plan does not create a situation where any of the current employees would take home less on our base health plan. On the enhanced health plan, it might be marginal. That's an elective decision by the employee. On the family plan, there would be 54 employees who are currently in the health plan that would see a decrease in their take-home pay based on where current premiums are anticipated. And that's what was discussed and approved by the board previously. In reviewing this with HR and just trying to run through multiple scenarios, the only one that I can really come up with that addresses that specific issue would be decreasing the family plan premium to where it only increased this in 2026 the same amount as what we increased the employee only, which was $51.46. That is the only scenario that I can come up with that would address that where no employee would have less than that. So that I wanted to present that to you. And I am looking for some direction today. Normally I'd like to have a little more time on these things, but we're approaching our open enrollment window. Our benefits administrator was actually ready to print our benefits book this week. So it would have been wrong if they would have printed it and then we decided to make that change. So one option is to leave it because the employee only will still be, while it is obviously an increase in their what they have to pay, they would not have a negative check compared to this year. So you could leave it at that. If you want to address the family plan as well, then I think probably the
You know, the issue I've got, Mark, is a lot of these people that may have to take that cut may not have been the person that had to use the service the most, and so they're being penalized to a certain degree. I think the option number 2, my 2 cents, option number 2, I don't want to see people take home less pay. It's hard enough to keep employees here as it is. Vanessa, do you have something you want to say?
I agree.
Okay.
How much is that going to cost the county, or where's that money?
With your savings,
where's that money going to come from?
So,
it is money.
the scenario where we reduce the family premium would cost the county about $80,000 a year based on our current enrollment. It could change a little bit here and there just based on enrollment, but I would anticipate it to be around $80,000.
And where are we going to cut that in order to offset this?
You already done it. Last week.
You're going to take the savings. I had other things in mind for those savings.
You already did it last week, Mike. What are you talking about?
No cake, no icing.
That's right.
Okay. I mean, here's the deal. I'm willing to support this, but every company across the country and every employer across the country is facing this with healthcare. And what's happening is the companies are having to ask the employees to cost share, and that's kind of what when we talked about this, we increased the cost share. So when you're operating like a business, that's the way it's going. So just realizing we are coming in with a subsidy here. And I'm more than happy to say that we'll do that, but in the future it's probably going to get more difficult.
Whatever it takes to keep people is what you have to do.
I think that's probably the best way to go. I do not want to take more money, as everyone's saying, out of people's pockets, because it's tough right now. Even with I think the economy and everything's getting a lot better and issues like that. But I think the last thing I want to do is take funding from anybody that's working for us, because even though you sometimes tend to like to run it like a business, we don't have the opportunity to offer some things that corporations have the chance to offer. So we have to do what we can to make sure people, qualified people, staff people, which I think we have a lot on board, we need to take care of them the best we can. We can't make them rich. We're not Johnson County, but we can sure stuff up the plate a little bit, especially after Mike's cuts.
Is there a time that we have planned to talk specifically about Port Authority LCDC funding before the budget's finalized?
Commissioner, I will have on the agenda every week an opportunity to discuss the budget between now and when we approve it. So any week that you'd like to bring that up, I'd be happy to provide any documentation that you ask for, and prior to that meeting, so the board can discuss it. We've already covered all of the individual presentations. We've held those. So at this point, going forward is more of a at the discretion of the board. I would request the documents over that we need direction on, but that is not one that I would specifically bring back unless requested. As I
What was that?
Go ahead.
As I mentioned last week, the budget as currently presented does not include the enhancements that were presented to you. It only includes flat funding from last year. So whatever they're budgeted for in 2025, they're budgeted for right now in 2026 for that amount. So if they ask for more, that's something the board would have to give you direction to increase. If this is the first time they're asking, that's something that the board would have to give you direction to. Currently, the budget.
Tell them about LCD.
I'm uncomfortable with where we're at, or maybe seeking direction on where we're at. It was my understanding that we haven't released funds that were budgeted for this year from last year's budget cycle.
That's correct. That was the direction given by the Board of County Commissioners.
Are you talking about economic development?
I'm not following, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm not following you totally on this. Go ahead.
Okay, so the money from 2025 that the board budgeted for economic development has not been released in 2025 because, at the direction of the Board of County Commissioners, the policy that states that we must have representation on the executive committee has not been so far followed. So
Okay.
therefore, the money has not been released. And it will not be released until the Board of County Commissioners gives me direction to do so. Because that's where I got the direction.
And we did address that with the Port Authority, and they were overlapping members of the LCDC recommendation that they make an appointment. One of our
I
folks.
did bring that up.
So what's the next step? I feel like everyone's kind of in their corner.
Are you talking about the appointment, Vanessa?
Yeah.
It's one or two things. Either as you were there yesterday, Port Authority, I was speaking. I suggested maybe, because I'm trying to get them off dead center so we can get something done here, that it doesn't have to be a county commissioner, because y'all have talked about that before. Maybe somebody the county commissioners appointed. And they said, they had some conversation about that, but it's a step. But it's very clear the way we voted, unless we're going to change the vote. If we don't have representation on it, according to our policy, then that funding's not going there, unless the county commissioners change their mind.
And
that's why I brought up the thing about, let us appoint somebody.
If they don't change their mind, in my opinion, and this is to be discussed, but I would think we would take our, is it 87,000, and place it into an economic development fund for the county, just to keep it in-house, and it could be used for economic development projects by the county.
I think my concern currently with the situation is that for their operations and their activities, they're going to continue to spend down the balance in the Port Authority budget, but we don't have a clear plan forward with this situation. And so I'm very uncomfortable just kind of remaining in our corners while they continue to spend down the Port Authority budget.
But that's Vanessa, that's on them. I mean, that is their money that we've sent there. If they want to do that, there's nothing says it's coming back. I understand what you're saying. There's nothing saying it's coming back. But, they've got to step up to the table, too. I'm very clear on what you're saying.
I just think it's not a wise usage of taxpayer dollars at that point. And I would just like to see us try to move on it. I feel like we need to kind of do one or the other. I feel like
I think you have to make it clear. We let them know. Just ask them if they're going to accept. If that's what the county commissioners want, an appointment from us. If not, thank you, but this is the direction we're going. We don't have to sit on the same longer. I think we discussed it enough, and we haven't paid them this year. So let them make that decision. Live with it. We make the decision. We live with it. We go forward. But I think you're right. It needs to be happening. We're in budget time. It needs to be happening now.
Does everyone agree on allowing it to be a county appointment, not an elected official? Do we have?
I'd rather, if that's what it takes to get them over the hump. I don't mind with who we
I think it
appoint.
could be either or, but certainly I would hope that our county administrator be a good choice.
Well, you've already volunteered him 10 times. He keeps looking down. But at least it wouldn't be an elected official is what I'm saying. So it could be someone we appoint that we,
Right.
majority of us agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that okay? So I guess we need to ask him some questions. Mike, go ahead.
We had a policy that we adopted a couple of years ago about the outstanding positions that are open still. When are we going to have a report on that?
We're working on that right now. The tracking on that is not as simple as I'd like for it to be, obviously, because you're looking at 1 or 2 days or 3 days or 3 months per position. You have to go back and count that position. Basically, we have to see when it opened, and then they have to count the number of days until it's considered closed. Unfortunately, not every department reports that right away, so it's a little harder to track.
Yeah.
It's not something that our system tracks automatically. So our HR staff is working on it, and it's just difficult because they have to do it all manually. But we are working on it.
So, second question, we had these Mike's cuts, but we had some discussion about on the outside agencies, funding for historical societies, some additional funding, Riverside Resources, Sparrow Clinic. When can we kind of do that discussion?
Commissioners, as I just stated a little bit ago, none of those enhancements are in the current budget. So if the board wants to discuss adding those, I need to put that on an agenda, and I can get you all the documents. You already have them, but we can put together just a smaller packet for you that would include the enhancements for the outside agencies, and you can have that as we can put it on next week if you want. The documents already exist, so it's super easy to do.
Could you bring it? Is it okay if the rest of the commissioner on the 30th? Because I have a little, I have a little conflict with the railroad next week. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen next week.
Mark, let me ask you this. Did Didn't you include what we put in last year, this year?
Yes.
So
Everything that's funded in 2025 is held at the same level for next year. The only change that was made was on the fare premiums because that's a statute.
So we've got that in the budget as it sits now. We're talking, Mike, I think you're talking about the extra stuff.
Right.
That did not make the cut list, I guess you could say. Okay.
Yep, so I can put that together and put that on the 30th.
Everybody okay with that? Okay, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mike. Anything else on the budget? Not?
Just want to be sure, I'm going to just clarify one more time, just so there's no confusion. The board is giving the direction that we'll change that premium on the employee plan so that it would be the same increases with the family plan or the individual plan was, so that no employee next year would see a decrease. I'll update the rate sheet and bring it back for you next week for formal approval, but I just want to make sure that was the direction I'm given so that I can tell our benefits.
I think that's what I said.
That's what I want.
Okay.
One more question. Do we have statistics? I know we discussed the number of people that are coming in the security doors. Do we have statistics on the doors? How many people are coming in?
I know that the metal detector system actually does a count, but I don't know if they actually keep that at the end of the day when they turn it off, if they write that down or not. So no, I don't believe we do, but I can find out.
Yeah, if you don't mind researching that, because I think that would be interesting to know when we're talking about doors, how many are coming in.
So even if we don't have a history, can we start getting that tracked? Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, anything else on that? Okay, we don't need an executive session, I believe, so we'll go start with Commissioner Reed on anything you may have.
Okay.
What? Jeff?
Nope.
Mike?
2 KCATA board meetings, just to bring you up to speed on that. I'm on that board, and I appreciate you allowing me to serve.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. 2 issues coming up, somewhat dysfunctional, I will say, from learning about it. They still do not have a contract with the city as far as operating the buses within Jackson County, but so it has necessitated the KCATA take out financing in order to keep the buses running.
Well.
They although are pledging that we will, so it's kind of a unique situation to be in. If it would continue this way for 2 months, there would be service disruption. I don't anticipate that because the city council members and the mayor and all them are not going to want to have service disruption because they would have to face the music. So that's going on. I think that contract, basically, there's a lot of politics involved, and I think eventually it's going to come to a resolution. Second thing, the discussion is whether to allow alcohol advertising on the buses. That's come up. My position basically is I don't like it, but if we're going to have it, I said I want it only on a limited number of buses and not actually advertising drinking itself, but just like a tasteful ad. It might have the alcohol, the company, but not looking like it's promoting drinking on the buses. I personally don't like the idea, but I'm certainly outvoted on that. But so I'm trying to make it as best, make it the best it can be. Okay. So those are 2 issues on the KCATA board. Other than that, the fair is coming. I'll have a booth at the fair.
You always do, Mike.
So I have ever since I've been a commissioner, and since I represent that area, I feel like it's a good thing to have a booth.
It's hot down there.
And you can come and be in my booth.
I would be afraid of it. Get hot down there. Okay,
we're in the air conditioning.
I just have a couple things. Attended the Port Authority yesterday. A lot of discussion. Also, I think next Wednesday we have the BACR meeting at 5. Is that correct? I think they're feeding us at 4. But okay, just remind everybody, please show up.
What day is that?
That's next Wednesday, Mike.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Mr. Duff?
Is there room on that? I was thinking about getting a booth at the county fair myself. Is there room on that for 2 of us?
Why don't you just come on down and be in my booth? We'll share.
Well, I don't know. That's good. I might want to put a petition out there.
My lovely wife will be there. She'll keep us all in line.
Oh, yes, she will.
She's a good part of it. Anything else?
She must keep you in line.
I was gonna let you say that word. If there's nothing else, then I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second motion to adjourn.
Second? Read.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Sure. Thank you, folks. Meeting's adjourned.